I welcome you all in the next video tutorial of pharmacognosy and phytochemistry 2. So in this video we are going to start isolation, identification and the analysis of alkaloids. So far we have completed terpenoids, glycosides and the resin part. So let's start the isolation, identification and the analysis of the alkaloids, in which we have 4 drugs. We can say 4 phytoconstituents. Number 1 is atropine, quinine, razapine and caffeine. So we'll start with the atropine. So yes, atropine alkaloid is mainly found in a member of the Solanaceae family like Dhatura, Hyoscyamus and Belladonna. So we have Dhatura, Atropa and Hyoscyamus. These 3 plants contain the atropine alkaloids. And the botanical names are Atropa belladonna, Dhatura stramonium, Hyoscyamus niger. I think the spelling is wrong, so you can write the correct spelling from the book. Hyoscyamus niger. So if we talk about the isolation part, first of all, we will take a powder drug of any of the 3, because the alkaloidal content or the atropine content also varies from these 3 drugs. So powder drug was taken either or directly, it was moistened with the aqueous solution of K2CO3, that is nothing but potassium carbonate. So drug was taken, it was moistened with the potassium carbonate, then it was extracted with chloroform. So what was happening in this procedure, K2CO3 is a basic. Okay, so whenever you will add or you will moisten your alkaloidal drugs with this basic solution, what was happen, it will free your alkaloid. It will just free your alkaloid. Just see, this is a general procedure for the extraction of the alkaloids. So suppose the alkaloid drug is taken, and when you moisten it with the any basic material, what will happen, the alkaloids become free. So this thing you have to remember. And second thing, and whenever you add acidic solution or acid in the alkaloidal containing any extract, what will happen, the salt will form. So these 2 things are very important for the isolation of the alkaloids. First you will add a base, it will free your alkaloid, then you will add the acid, it will form salt. So you will add a basic thing, what will happen, it will free your alkaloid, then you will extract with the chloroform, and then you will evaporate your solvent. And we know alkaloids have a solubility in chloroform. Okay, alkaloids are somewhat soluble in chloroform. So when you treat it with chloroform, then you will evaporate the solvent, and you will then again treat it with the H2SO4, means an acidic thing, means salt will form, and you will again made it alkaline by using again a basic thing, potassium carbonate. Then what will happen, again alkaloids are free or alkaloids are precipitate out. This is a simple procedure for the extraction of atropine, and you will then crystallize with using alcohol. See, there is another procedure for the isolation of the atropine. In this again the things remain the same. You will add a basic thing, what will happen, it will free. You will add an acidic thing, what will happen, it will form salt. So by this addition of acid or base, alkaloids are precipitated out by different ways. So let's see the isolation of atropine. In this procedure, the powder drug material is thoroughly moistened with an aqueous solution of the sodium carbonate. Look at this, again in this step you will add a basic thing in the alkaloid. What will happen, the alkaloidal drugs, they will set alkaloidal as a free, then it will free, then it was extracted with benzene or ether. Means again we have used here a non-polar organic solvent. Then the alkaloidal free bases, look at this, this is the written here, alkaloidal free bases, they are again extracted from the solvent with acidified water, or you can use an acetic acid. Again, if you use acetic acid, means salt formation will take place. Then this acid solution is then shaken with solvent ether to remove the coloring matter, because we know a drug contains a mixture of complex substances which include coloring matter also. and then the alkaloids are precipitated with again using sodium carbonate. Again, this is a basic thing. So alkaloids get precipitated out, then filtered, then washed, then dried. Then the dried mass is dissolved in the solvent ether or acetone and dehydrated using anhydrous sodium sulfate. So what was happening here? Again, you will add a basic material, a basic thing. It will set alkaloid as a free. You will add an acidic material. It will form a salt. So by using this procedure, alkaloidal drugs, several alkaloidal drugs have been isolated. So at this point, you have a dried mass. Atropine has not yet been isolated here. What we will do, this filtrate after concentration and cooling yield the crystal of hyoscyamin and atropine from the solution. Okay, so it will yield crystal, it will yield hyoscyamin and atropine after the procedure of crystallization. And at this point, atropine and hyoscyamin, they are present together. So the crude crystalline mass is separated from the solution and it was obtained after filtration, which is dissolved in alcohol and sodium hydroxide solution is added to it. Now we will add in this mass again a basic thing, that is a sodium hydroxide, which is dissolved in alcohol. Then the mixture is allowed to stand until hyoscyamin is completely racemide to atropine, because atropine is a racemic mixture basically, and in this case you will obtain your crude atropine. So I acknowledge this channel and all the sources I used to prepare this video to do was the next part in the isolation, identification and the analysis of atropine. Thank you for your patience and listening. I welcome you all in the next part of the atropine isolation, identification and the analysis part. So in this video tutorial we are going to cover this isolation part from the book. So first of all, let's recall a bit. For the extraction of isolation of the alkaloids, we use a general procedure as follows. First of all, any alkaloid drug was taken. Sometimes over here it is written defatting. So as we know, drug is a mixture of complex mixture of the phytoconstituents. So what we mean by defatting? It's the removal of the fat. Defatting, removal of fatty material. And we know fats are non-polar in their nature. They are soluble in the non-polar organic solvents. So sometimes we will follow the procedure of defatting, and this defatting is used with the help of benzene, pet ether or hexane. That are the most non-polar solvents. I hope you remember about the polarity index of the solvent, because we have already covered it in the chromatography series. Then after defatting, what we will do, we will add any basic material. In this case, suppose sodium carbonate or potassium carbonate or NaOH is used. Okay, the slime and ammonia is also used. What was happening here, whenever we add a basic material to alkaloid containing drug, it will set alkaloid as a free, and then that free alkaloids we will extract it using again organic solvents like chloroform, which is slightly more polar than benzene or hexane. Okay, so then it was again extracted with chloroform. Then we will obtain total extract, and then you will see here you will add a acid again. So upon addition of acid, what will happen? The alkaloidal salt will form, and in this way we can obtain alkaloids. So in the extraction of alkaloid or in the isolation of alkaloids, we are going to see the use of this base and acid simultaneously. Or in step 1 we will add basic, then again we'll in step 4 and step 5 we will add and again an acid solution or again a basic solution. So we will see another procedure that is important, that you have to remember. This is again a very simple procedure. We use here belladonna plant. We use Atropa belladonna. Dried coarsely powdered belladonna leaves were extracted with alcohol by using Soxhlet wood extraction. We have covered Soxhlet extraction so many times. So over here we will use 90%, 95% alcohol. Then after the extraction, what we will do, we will collect our ethanolic extract, we will concentrate it, and we will obtain a mass. And this was treated with HCl. So tell me what will happen whenever we treat with HCl, it will form a salt. So over here also, when it will treat it with the HCl solution and we will filter it, the filtrate contain alkaloids in the aqueous solution and it was extracted with the organic solvent like pet ether. So why it was written here filtrate contain aqueous solution, because we will prepare dilute HCl in water. We will prepare a solution of HCl of a particular strength in the water, and in that particular case we will obtain our alkaloids. And now next step is to remove other pigments that are present in the plant. How it is possible? We will treat it with organic solvent like pet ether. Okay, after that we will make this aqueous solution with treated with ammonia. So what will happen? Tell me, look at this again. We will add a base here. What will happen? Free alkaloids will produce. At this stage, when you add the ammonia solution, you will obtain alkaloids in the form of free base. So then we will again extract it with the chloroform, because we know alkaloids, especially in the case of atropine, it has highly solubility in chloroform. So we will extract it at least 3 times with the help of chloroform, and we will combine the extract, we will concentrate it, and we will found a crude alkaloid as a residue. Then we will use again an acidic solution. Then alkaloids are, with the help of crystallization, fractional crystallization, atropine is crystallized out. So this is the simple procedure again for the extraction of atropine. So you have to remember at least 2 procedure of the extraction of alkaloid. So I suggest you to remember this first procedure, because this is very simple, in which the alkaloid drug was taken, it was moistened with the potassium carbonate solution, then extracted with chloroform, because we know atropine has solubility in chloroform. Then we will concentrate it, we will add sulfuric acid, salt will form, then it was again made alkaline with a basic, that is again potassium carbonate. It will set alkaloid as a free form, then atropine precipitate out, and we will crystallize it using alcohol. So this is a simple procedure for the isolation of atropine. And second procedure is the use of belladonna. So again we will extract with the alcohol in the Soxhlet apparatus. Then over here you can this where you add acid or base. Over here you will add acid in this step, and then again it was treated with aqueous solution. Over here you will add your basic solution, that is ammonia. Again over here you have added oxalic acid, that is acid. So with the help of these chloroform and this acid based solution, we will easily extract out our atropine. So again it was extracted with the alcohol with the help of Soxhlet apparatus. Then we will concentrate it to obtain a mass, and it was dissolved in HCl. Salt formation will take place. We will filter out, and the filtrate contain alkaloids, and we will treat it with pet ether to remove the other impurities like chlorophyll pigments and other impurities. Because in plants, in belladonna is generally green leaf, and we obtain atropine from the leaf part. Yes, it contains chlorophyll, so we have to remove the chlorophyll pigment. Only then we can isolate any pure compound. So then we will use alkaline solution with ammonia, and we will extract with chloroform at least thrice. Finally, what we will do, we will combine our chloroform extract, concentrate it, and then again use an acid solution. And the last step is the crystallization. The alkaloids are obtained, atropine is obtained by fractional crystallization procedure. So I hope this is clear to you. So you have to remember this procedure, that is from this book, and the first one is the very simple, that is the potassium carbonate procedure. So I hope this is clear to you. So I acknowledge all the sources I have used to prepare this video. See you in the next video, that is the part 3 video in this series. Thank you for your patience in listening. So I again welcome you all in the part 3 video of the atropine. So we have completed the isolation part. Now let's see the identification of the atropine. So there is a very important common identification test that is known by the name of Vitali-Morin reaction or Vitali-Morin test. So in this test, atropine is treated with the fuming nitric acid and it is followed by evaporation to dryness, and we will add methanolic potassium hydroxide solution. We will see the last, we will see the violet coloration will appear due to presence of the atropine nucleus. So let's recall again. The atropine is treated with fuming nitric acid. First of all, atropine was taken and it was treated with the nitric acid. Simple, right? It was fuming because nitric acid, whenever you open the bottle of the nitric acid, fume will appear. That's why it's known as the fuming nitric acid. Followed by evaporation to dryness. So what is in this step? When you will add nitric acid in the atropine and then you will dry your sample. You will evaporate your sample to the dryness. And the second step, what you will do, you will add methanolic potassium hydroxide solution. You will add methanolic potassium hydroxide solution in acetone solution of the nitrated residue. So this is the residue that is you obtained after the dryness. What you will do, you will add acetone solution in it. Okay, first of all you will add acetone solution into it, then you will add methanolic KOH solution, and you will see the violet coloration appears due to tropane nucleus. Over here I found this from this channel, Phytochemistry Practical Calculators. I found a demonstration of this Vitali-Morin reaction. So let's see over here. The first step is in this test. First of all, we will add over here atropine. It was then treated with the fuming nitric acid. We will just see here again. Let me start again. What we will do, this china dish already contains your atropine and it is treated with the nitric acid solution, which was then subjected to the dryness using a Bunsen burner. Light chalegi. Look at this. So it was subjected, fuming acid, nitric acid was added and it was subjected to the dryness. Look at this, fumes will appear at this stage. Over here fumes will appear. And now next step, what you will do, you will add acetone solution into it and methanolic KOH solution, that is a methanolic potassium hydroxide solution, and you will observe violet coloration is appear due to the presence of the tropane nucleus. Look at this. Okay, and finally what he will do, he was doing, let's watch this video. Okay, this is the violet coloration will produce due to the presence of atropine when you add methanolic acid. This is a I'm not saying that this is the exact test, because in the phytochemistry the test may vary. It may vary. Yes, it is a Vitali-Morin reaction, but nowadays there is advanced tests have been produced. Suppose in case of Vitali-Morin reaction, see the procedure again. Here it was written you will add fuming nitric acid, but not always. You will add another acid like sulfuric acid also. It will depend upon the condition. And suppose if you are doing this practical on the drug, suppose you don't have isolated any atropine and you want to do the Vitali-Morin reaction on the belladonna drug, then this test may vary, the procedure may vary. But for the examination, we have to remember that because it is mentioned in our standard book. So yes, we have to remember that. But for the practical purpose, the procedure might vary. Okay. So look at this again. I acknowledge this channel first of all. In this channel again a Vitali-Morin test was given. First of all, he used this atropabelladonna drug. In this case, drug is used. So what we have to do, we have to first of all extract out the atropine. Only then we will able to perform this test. Now see the procedure very carefully. So we will put our drug in the centrifuge tube and we will add acid. Sulfuric acid was added. And I hope you remember why we add acid. again to formation of the salt. Then we will filter it and we will collect the filtrate. Then next step, we will add ammonia into it. So why we add basic solution again? Again to free the alkaloid. Along with water was also added. Then it was added in a separating funnel. Now what we will add a ether, but not the normal ether. We will add methyl ter-butyl ether into this filtrate. And what was happen? Two layer emulsion will form. At this point, the bottom layer, that is the aqueous layer, was discarded and the organic layer was selected. Why? Because we know alkaloids are solubility in chloroform or organic solvents. So we will use the organic layer now, and we will add anhydrous sodium sulfate to dry our sample and to remove any excess water that is present in our sample. It was collected in this channel dish or the crucible. Yes, again it was subjected to the dryness in the water bath. Then we will add nitric acid into it and again subjected to the dryness of the water bath. And after dryness we will add acetone solution into it. And again we will add potassium hydroxide solution, methanolic potassium hydroxide solution. This is potassium hydroxide solution, methanolic potassium hydroxide solution. Here is the outcome. This is the purple solution will form, which indicate the presence of atropine. So you observe that the procedure might vary, but the main phenomena, main things we have to remember. So over here, this person used, first of all, the drug was extracted with he used HCl first of all. Then, and we know why we use HCl, to form salt. Then he will use waste. Extraction procedure was carried out first of all. Then after the extraction procedure, over here we found our alkaloid, we have our alkaloid. So then this layer was subjected to, aqueous layer was discarded and we have selected the organic layer, and alkaloids are present in the organic layer. Okay, and this organic layer was subjected to different procedures, and we finally obtain our atropine as an end product in this way. So I think this is clear to you now. Now if we see about the other identification method like TLC, so stationary phase, we use silica gel G, mobile phase toluene, ethyl acetate, diethylamine in the ratio 70-20-10. Detecting reagent, Dragon-Dorf reagent is very commonly used for the detection of alkaloids. And observation, we will observe it under UV light at 365 nanometer. This is about the identification of this atropine. So there is an analytical method that is used with the help of chromatography. So we use HPLC, that is a liquid chromatography, for the analysis of this atropine in different samples. And there is another reverse phase HPLC method is also used. And you will remember about the column here, we will use reverse phase column and detection is done at 220 nanometer. And over here the mobile phase in this reverse phase column is this one, that is the 0.5 molar ammonium acetate, methanol and acetonitrile in the ratio 48, ratio 32, ratio 20, volume by volume. So this is the reverse HPLC procedure for the analysis of the atropine from different samples. So in the last, I acknowledge all the sources I have used to prepare this video, especially YouTube, SlideShare, etc. And do not share this video in any platform. This is only meant for the educational purpose. Thank you for your patience and listening.